This is the smart Volvo XC60. So smart, it's powered by Google. Hey Google, set the temperature to 21 degrees. It's for a new generation of people who are also smart and want to avoid the noise. By noise, I mean BMW, Mercedes and Audi. Volvo have now decided it's their time to grab some market share, and they've started with their interiors. This interior breaks the mold in that it's not too little, like you get in a Tesla, and not too much, like you get in a Mercedes. And there's folds and bits of real wood and stitching and good quality materials bolted together ridiculously. And there's even a little Swedish flag down here which I really like. I'd even go as far as to say this is exquisite, or in Swedish.
In Swedish, that's utsökt.
Volvos, as you obviously know, are from Sweden. 57% of Sweden is made up of forest land. It equates to 23 million hectares, or the size of Great Britain. That's a lot of lovely trees and nice squirrels and a lot of clean air. Trees, of course, play a very important role in removing pollutants from the air. And so does this car.
Is a pretty good banana.
By turning on this fan here, I can set the temperature, or I can purify the air before I drive, and when I am driving it's cleaning the air for me. And for the 5.4 million people in this country that suffer from asthma, this is actually certified to help. It might be an obvious meme, but Volvo are famously still the pioneers in safety. So much so, I wanted to crash this car into a wall and then do the same with another car so that I could compare the injuries I sustained. However, Leasing.com in a statement said that's not a very good idea. Everyone knows how safe Volvos are. And they're also one of the kindest manufacturers in the world, because had they not released the patent for one of these, we wouldn't have seatbelts in any other car. It's very kind. Can you imagine that now? A car manufacturer sharing their proprietary information with another one. But enough about safety, and now on to the looks. Very important, of course. The GLC, well, that looks a bit bulbous, and this is very smart. You also obviously have the Audi Q5. That's due a refit, like an old bingo hall, isn't it?
50, yellow 24, red 16.
But it is very smart. Of the two, this one's smarter. It almost makes you feel a bit special, maybe. There is a sense of Volvo's care and attention with this car. I imagine the sort of people who want one of these are scholars and scientists who like all that stuff. I can even imagine Jordan Peterson having one of these and then winning an argument about why he got one.
I'm just trying to work that out. I mean,
Ha! Gotcha.
You won't be getting one of these for the room in the back. Although I am a 6'1" person, nor the boot. Although here is the boot, because there's nothing really remarkable about either the rear space, although I am surprised about it, or the boot, other than that it's as good as all the other cars. You'll be getting one of these for all the little details that other people don't do. For instance, the lowering or hiring of the loading space. A beautiful massage from these extremely comfortable massage seats. A light and earthy wooden keyring which matches the wood that you can see here inside the car. You can open the sunroof by using a little swipe gesture. There's these famous ergonomically designed seats with this under-knee portion here. That's actually the name for it. When they had a meeting, they said, what we're going to call that, and they said it's the under-knee portion. Nappa leather, beautifully soft. Look at the ventilation, heated and cooled, and these headrests are fantastic. They're almost ahead of themselves. I mean, they've had these headrests for a while, but they look great. And again, I know everyone talks about it, but the little Swedish flag just reminds you that you are actually in England. There's this new infotainment system which they really needed because the last one was getting slower. Obviously, the best bit for me is the way that you can ask it anything and you don't have to say, hey, the name of the car. I don't mind saying Google. I love the maps. I think it's fantastic. You can press this button here and you can do points of interest, or like you would as if you were just using Google itself. It's very fast. Apple CarPlay, now I'm going to be really honest here, Apple CarPlay, you need a cable for that. The cable is located in here, so the phone goes out of the way nice and safely there. Should it be wireless? Yeah, probably for this kind of money. Then you need the app for the air control. It's not a major, it'll do it, but it's not a major. But I just think it's really simple. And then of course the radio or media and so on and everything else. One thing that is nice is that when you want to change the position of the seat or put the seat massage on, you do it with the handle down here and then it comes up on the screen. It's just a small thing. And then over here you have the new digital binnacle, which it is very basic. It is very clean. It's a little bit sort of pastel and matte compared to some others, but I also like the simplicity of it. It's not trying to be ridiculous. This is just very simple. How fast am I going? And there's a map obviously in the middle as well.
And did you know that Volvo even provides safety during pregnancy and use female crash dummies as well as male ones because of their various anatomical differences? Extra whiplash protection, automatic stopping, and even airbags designed to protect other airbags.
So which Volvo XC60 should you get? Should it be one of the two petrols? One is 197 horsepower, the other one is 250, or one of the two diesels, 197 horsepower or 235? Well, I would have the B4 2-litre 197 horsepower diesel.
And there goes all my Insulate Britain viewers. But part of being on YouTube is about being honest, and at the moment diesel and petrol makes the most sense for me, because despite there being 660,000 EVs on the road here in the UK, we still only have one charger, and that's not really enough. Next, onto the Volvo driving characteristics, which some say are not very much fun.
And I disagree with them for the following reasons. The only SUVs that are fun to drive are the Cupra Formentor, the Alfa Romeo Stelvio and the Macan. You don't get an SUV for driving pleasure per se. They are for comfort. This essentially is for meeting your mates at golf and then also going to IKEA afterwards and coming back with a chair.
28.9 miles to the gallon around town is not really that competitive, and the engine sound for a diesel is not as quiet as that which you might get in a Mercedes. You are getting more light though, more vision, and brilliant sound from the sound system from Bowers and Wilkins.
Which you won't get as standard, nor will you get radar cruise as standard. A lot of cars have that now. That's disappointing, mate. Let's have a look and see how much they are on the comparison site Leasing.com. And as you can see here, these are the prices, which include, by the way, VED. So you have to take into consideration what you're looking at here essentially is including the £45 a month that you have to pay for VED on any car over £40,000. Thanks for that, that's the government. The other thing to consider with leasing is, especially in these times of incredible uncertainty, it's a nice way to get into something new, then get out if you want to, right? Obviously you have to continue your lease payments, but it's very simple. There's no APR, and this, for example, is £7,500 across a term, more expensive to buy. Pay more and have even less to worry about, because Volvo now are the pioneers of the new subscription model, like Netflix or a gym. Cancel anytime, very genius. It has the same suspension as the very famous XC90, of which there are millions on the road. And there's a couple of thoughts here. I've done the XC90, but I prefer this to drive, and a lot of the reason for that is, well, this is minus the Gruff diesel engine of that time, and the suspension has been tweaked so that this is more, I don't know, it feels more professional. There's a lot of cushioning going on over these bumps. It just absorbs everything, almost like a really expensive car. This is a really expensive, yes, but because the car is shorter than the XC90, I just think it works a little bit better, and also in cornering it's a little bit more urgent. Zero body roll, the anti-roll bars obviously are doing what they're supposed to do. I think this is a big car for comfort. A couple of things I am not so keen on, or were worth mentioning. Firstly was road noise, because I really don't want to bash the XC90, especially if you've got one. But for me, I remember going to Stansted, doing an airport run in the XC90, and I thought, this is too noisy. This is too noisy, too gruff, and there's far too much road noise. I didn't like it. I was like, what is the fuss about? Sorry. this is quieter. Not only than that, but it's quieter than the last XC60. So even in this little facelift period where they've done the Google, you know, sorted out the infotainment, I think they've also sorted out the steering and the road noise.
So finally, what are my top 3 things about the Volvo XC60?
Number 1, I'm going to say, is the looks of this car. I think this is a very smart car. Smart. I even looked on the thesaurus to see whether there was a better word than smart, but it is just, you know, like when a suit just fits right. That's what this is. I think the XC90, they might have shot themselves in the foot. Yes, if you've got a big family, the XC90 is a better car for you, you know, but it's a bit tall and long, isn't it? It's got like a long, this is, oh, it is pretty good. So looks, number 2, the seat. There isn't a more comfortable seat, I don't think, in this class. You just want to sit in it. It's like, you know, when you go to those really overpriced furniture stores and they have like a leather seat with massages and that, and you go, oh, I'll get one of these. Oh, it's £4,000. That's what these seats are like. And finally, the suspension. Mentioned the suspension earlier on. Just think it's very easy to live with. Oh, and do you know what? I'm going to say something else. It's better than the XC90. There you go. I've just saved you how much? Thanks very much for watching.